Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to Super Dudes. I'm Cole Brentfield, and with me today is
King JTH.
Awesome. And today we are going to be talking about 10 topics that we researched and want to talk about with you guys today. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's begin. Okay, I have my phone up with the 10 topics me, and my good friend will talk about. So this is one I definitely wanted to talk about because I feel like it's not being fully aware like of people, and what I mean by that is that people sometimes have to be careful of other certain kinds of people. Like let me give you an example. Like there are so many people that I could go off, like celebrities, musicians, showrunners, like a whole lot of people, like people like Kanye West, Dan Schneider, like so much more. So many people that just have such a horrible, horrible side to them. Like whether it's they're mentally ill or they just are stupid for the sake of being stupid. And the truth is, I feel like that's starting to become more rare with people. Is that sometimes you gotta be careful with people, or else they're gonna treat you real badly and you're gonna get hurt. And I feel like that we're starting to enter into that era in the 2020s, and I just think it's kind of heartbreaking what how many stupid people keep coming or have been, like, just how many stupid people have, like, there's like so many stupid people that are in the world now, and it just sucks that they're not choosing like actual wiseness to them, and it's just heartbreaking. But anyway, what do you think about this,
I
Javante?
mean, what I'm gonna say is certain things has been a certain way for a really long time. I guess for some of the people you said, sometimes they can't cope with some of the decisions that they made, which you know might have been good decisions at the time, but wind up not working out for them. Certain certain circumstances changed them forever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but certain things in general was kind of a certain way. Certain things is designed a certain way uh, in the world. And it's been like that since the country got taken over. You know,
Yeah,
because this is originally I believe the Indians' country, the Native Americans' country.
yeah,
Certain
until the
things.
Britain I think
And
took over.
I don't gotta go deep
I
into
don't think we need
history,
to go deep into the history because I
but
don't know much of the history
you
guy.
get my drift. And certain things you still see to this day, like you see the middle class and poor people who barely can pay bills
Mm-hmm.
get taxed heavily, while the rich doesn't get taxed that much.
Yeah,
You
uh,
see things like that.
exactly, and
There's a dynamic that they want to stay the same.
mm-hmm.
Certain things. So I
Yeah,
don't know if you was going that deep, but
no. I mean, the truth is, sometimes good people can make really bad choices too, and sometimes those people will actually feel uncomfortable around them because they think, well, this is not the person I thought you were. And when they didn't mean it, it could still change people and their perspectives on that person. It's
yeah,
100% true. I mean, it can happen to anyone. I mean, it depends on how bad the situation is, but I don't know how much worse it's gonna get, and I just think we should just easily treat each other with, kindness. Kindness is just the thing to get us through life, and I feel like people are just are like sick and like twisted and terrible at not doing that because it's just so simple. This isn't like rocket science or anything, or just like the most impossible thing in the world. We have to treat others nicely. And if we don't, then we're just gonna end up in a world where there's a bunch of chaos. And people just don't know how to, and people just, yeah, people sometimes don't, are not always on the same page, but sometimes if you're not on the same page, that could sometimes cause like a war between continents or people. and they could just be getting to fights, and it's just sad that sometimes people don't agree on those kinds of things. And it's sad that people just don't treat others so nicely, and I'm just sick and tired of it. I mean, it's sad that we're slowly moving into that state of the world, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. But this is just how I feel about all that. It's just terrible. It's just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you should treat each other with respect, but there's a lot of people. I think a lot of people have a mindset of like most people really don't care about your well being. They care about what you can contribute to them, how you can help them, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And I guess it might be through their own experiences or what they see people constantly go through.
Yeah,
I think they see constant betrayal, things of that nature.
they don't
So I
see
gotta
that.
go down the rabbit hole because you get my drift.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, let us know in the comments about what you think about this, about people, certain kinds of people not being safe around, and like, heck, there's so many people that aren't safe, and just people that feel betrayed by others. But anyway, let us jump in the comments and let us know what you think. All right, moving on to the next topic. Marvel Rivals. So Marvel Rivals is the brand new Marvel game, kind of Overwatch style, except better, and everyone will agree with me on that. But it's a whole lot better than Overwatch, but I'm not going to get into the Overwatch similarities. Let's just go into it. Like Marvel Rivals, when it kind of came out of nowhere when it was first announced, and it's become like such a like one of the most played, most viewed and played games of this year, and it probably wasn't last year because it came out by the end of the year, but it's gonna grow into big popularity, and I'm just so happy. Like my main character I play with is Star-Lord because he's just fast. He's like Tracer, but a lot better. Like he has his rocket boots, his guns, and his alt where he just shoots someone straight in the face. It's just awesome. And the Fantastic Four recently came out with all four members. Two of them came out before, and then the other ones came out subsequently. And then, but my favorite Fantastic Four member is the Thing. It's clobbering time. It's just such an. I think the Thing is my favorite Fantastic Four member because he's kind of like me, where I'm strong and I'm a big man, and you could still save people, and I'm not ashamed of being someone that could be a big person, and you shouldn't be ashamed too if you're watching this. So please, if you always can use your talents, wits for greatness like the Thing does. But anyway, Javante, I know you haven't played Marvel Rivals, but have you seen any gameplay of it? What do you think?
I haven't seen any gameplay of it, but I'm pretty sure it's cool. Is Thanos in there?
No, he's not in there, but I'm
Why
hoping.
not?
I don't know.
Well, at least one of the most iconic villains.
Yeah, he is one of the most iconic villains of all time. You have to put him in the game.
Yeah.
Like there are so many. Like Thanos is the one you have to put in. He's literally one of the greatest villains of all time. So you cannot miss
Do they
them.
have Darkseid?
Darkseid's DC.
Oh. Yeah.
Fun
So I
fact.
haven't been
Fun.
keeping up.
Fun fact. Thanos is a ripoff of Darkseid, and it's funny that ripoff became one of the greatest villains of all time before Darkseid ever was, which is
I
interesting.
think the Stones played a role.
Yeah, the stones could play a role. Like sometimes, like Thanos, his ult would just be snapping his fingers and just
Do they
wiping
have Black
everyone away.
Panther?
Yeah, they've got Black Panther.
Yeah.
He's one of the best, and I think he's a cool player. But even despite all of that, and to be honest, I don't play with all the Marvel rival characters. I usually play with the Thing, Star-Lord, sometimes Hulk, and Adam Warlock. But I don't play as anyone else.
They have a Red Heart Hulk.
They have a skin for that, but they should.
Speaking of Marvel, have you seen Captain America?
Yeah, and we're gonna talk more about that soon.
Okay.
But for now, let's just talk about Marvel Rivals, and it's just such an awesome game. People are saying that has the best potential to go on for the next 10 years. if I'm right, and if I'm wrong, just let me know. And I might be a little embarrassed by that.
I mean, like when I was in high school, I was a big gamer, but I'm not as much. I'm not into games as much as I used to be into.
Like, why aren't you big into games?
Um, I guess I'm thinking more about building a career. I mean, like I do play. Like if I do play video games, it's when I'm streaming. But I don't stream as often as I used to.
Yeah, yeah. People change. People change and have different career paths they take afterwards. But anyway, guys, let us know what you think about Marvel Rivals. Does it have the potential to go on for the next 10 years? And how big do you think it's going to get around the world? Or how much popularity it's impacted? Let us know in the comments and let us know what you think. All right, moving on to the next topic. Give me a sec. Disney. So Disney is coming out with that Snow White movie, which I'm not gonna see because I'm not interested in. But I'll see the. But they did come out with a trailer for Lilo and Stitch, a movie I am excited about because I love Lilo and Stitch. And who doesn't love Stitch? That little blue fur ball. Like who doesn't love that adorable little blue fur ball alien? But anyway, we really have to ask ourselves the questions. 4 words, or I'm not sure. Sorry. Do we need live action remakes? The answer, the answer, maybe. Some do and some don't. But to be honest, when Disney live action remakes started with Cinderella, which I did see, and it's probably the best live action remake, and I think it was the first live action remake, I think, when they started to put out live action remake after live action remake after live action remake. It started in that era where they started to put out more and more live action remakes. I think Cinderella was the first one. But I really enjoy that first live action remake, Cinderella, in the era where they were just putting out so many live action remakes. And you should see that live action remake in case you haven't, because it actually has a different kind of story. I mean, it's faithful, but it just feels very inspiring, kind of inspiring the same with the original. So you should check that one out. But we really have to ask ourselves now. But when Cinderella came out, we weren't as cynical. But in the present state, a lot of us are starting to become more cynical with live action remakes from Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King. There's so much in my head that I can name, but I just don't want to waste up all the time here. But there's so much that we could go over. But like that one simple question: do we need live action remakes? And I just think that the only key to have live action remakes is if you have a different take on the story that's different but faithful at the same time. Like something that could work, and honor the original story. And I feel like Disney live actions are utterly failing at them, and they're just throwing out live action remakes after live action remakes for more money. And I just think that that's just Disney's gimmick that they're gonna do for a while, is just put out Disney remake after Disney remake to just get money. And I don't think Disney is so aware how cynical we've been these days with them. But anyway, what do you think about this, Javante?
I'll say, if you can get the people to rally behind it, make more live action, get more revenue. At the end of the day, it is about the paper. But me as a consumer, I think it'll probably nostalgia will really have to kick in, because
nostalgia has to.
It would probably be hard for me to watch something that I know for certain the outcome of.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm really trying to analyze what happened. As I was younger, I might not be able to analyze it as well.
Yeah.
I might find something different from it, but other than that, I wouldn't. And as a consumer, as a consumer, I don't know if I would want to pay for it because the prices are high.
Yeah, they are
There-
high.
there's-
Disney's the biggest
There's
studio
other,
of all
there's other
time.
important for me. There's other important things that need to get paid other than watching something that I already know the outcome of.
Yeah, like I said, you could like extend the story, but it has to be true. Like it has to actually make sense of, yeah, this could make sense, and this could like expand more on the story. But they're just not doing that a lot anymore. They did that with Cinderella, but they're not really doing that with the other live action remakes. They're just going through the motions and just repeating iconic moment after iconic moment.
Now somebody wanted to watch it with me, depending on who it is. That's a maybe. But other than that, I don't think I would initiate going to go see something that I already know. So unless it's like a date, let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Snow White is just, I mean, I'm still keeping in track of what you said. I mean, Snow White is probably the biggest controversial Disney live action remake probably ever. And there probably ever will be the biggest controversial remake because of all the
I didn't
things.
see it. What happened?
I don't want to go over it, and
Don't spoil it.
I mean, it's not a spoiler, but I just don't like going over it. Like apparently the actress is not the biggest fan of the original, and a lot of the casting choices has just been so controversial, and the CGI on the dwarves looks so creepy. Don't like those dwarves are unrealistic, and I feel like practical effects don't really. I feel like that you should use a little more practicality because I feel like it helps make it feel more real. If you're just putting CGI and just editing the faces, the bodies, the arms, the legs, the feet, the hands, the fingers, the nose, the eyes, all of it, it can look wrong at certain angles or scenes. So that's why I feel like practicality could be a little bit more useful in those kinds of situations. But people want to rely on CGI to just waste money after money with these stupid live action remakes. I mean, granted, not all of them are stupid, but some of them are, and I feel like most of them could be more stupid here. But that's just a theory. But still,
I would say you can wait until it comes on one of these millions of websites,
yeah.
but by then you're gonna forget about it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because this is just off topic, but it's still kind of live. It's still kind of a live action remake. The How to Train Your Dragon movie. Have you ever seen that movie?
That movie sounds very familiar.
It's about
Is the dragon black? Or is it
yes,
like...
he's black.
Okay.
Okay, that was a little wrong. Don't think that the wrong way. Don't think of that the wrong way. I am so sorry. Do not take that the wrong way. That was just a joke. I am not racist, and even if I was racist, I would just be spewing out racist things at this person right here. So do not take it offense. I'm sorry if I offended you. I mean it. I'm not taking this with a joke. I'm sorry. I was just answering his question.
I know.
I just hope the people live are not taking this seriously.
I was messing with you.
I know, but I can get a little affected about that.
Oh,
but yeah,
I might have seen it before, but I don't remember the plot.
It's about a boy who rides a dragon. It's a movie.
I've seen it.
Yeah, and now they're coming out.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember. This is not going to sound good. I remember the dragon being black and the person being white. That's all I remember.
Yeah, the white person was so skinny. Like the kid was so white and
That's
skinny.
literally all I remember.
Yeah. Well, what are we doing with ourselves? But anyway, back on the live action remake. So they're gonna so the live action How to Train Your Dragon comes out in a couple of months, and I wonder how's that gonna perform. I mean, is DreamWorks gonna start taking the same approach at Disney's strategy of live action remakes? Is How to Train Your Dragon gonna be the first of filmography of live action remakes for Disney?
That I would actually watch. just because I do not remember the plot.
Yeah. Like, have you ever seen Megamind?
Megamind, no.
You haven't? That's a live action movie I'd watch. Like it's a superhero
But
movie about.
the one you just mentioned with the dragon, I know what it is, but I don't remember the plot. So I would be down. So I would be down to actually watch that,
Yeah.
just because of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I do wonder, like, if DreamWorks starts taking the path of live action remakes, what would they put on live action? I would love a live action Megamind movie, but I think I would make it if I were the director. I'd make it more adultish because I wouldn't make. I don't think that movie should exist until the 2040s or maybe 2050s. I don't know, but that's
Why
just
not?
me.
Why not try? Why not try it in 2026? You know.
Well, here's the thing. How to Train Your Dragon came out 15 years ago, and those people have kids now, but they're not old enough. So I would make sure that the kids are old enough to actually go see it. Except my take would be a little bit more darker, and actually expand more into the Megamind more instead of just being a planets being sucked. Like what happened between those two planets? Like instead of them just being sucked at the same time.
I feel like, but like I might enjoy it somewhat now. I probably would enjoy it now, but I don't see myself. I don't see myself enjoying it 15 years from now.
Yeah,
And I can, to a certain degree, I think you would enjoy it a lot more if it came out now versus if it came out
Yeah.
15 years from now.
Yeah, DreamWorks. If you ever watch this, call me and I'll give you my pitch for a live action Megamind movie. But that's just something I just like to say sometimes. But it's not like it's ever gonna happen. But if it did, it would be really cool. But anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about live action movies remakes like Disney? I know we talked about DreamWorks for a little bit, but this is about Disney. What do you think about Disney live action remakes? Jump into the comments and let us know what you think. Okay. Next up, we're going to stick on the topic of movies, and we were just talking about a little bit earlier CGI in the 2020s. Let's be honest, CGI has had a major downfall. I mean, it's just so noticeable. The animation is so noticeable, and it's just not realistic anymore. Like, if you go back to watch the first Transformers movie, or King Kong, or any early 2000s movie with CGI, it was perfection. You have to admit it was perfection. And the practical and the effects were just realistic and all that it was hard to notice any CGI layers. But now, I think my theory of how CGI had a downfall was the pandemic. After the pandemic hit, CGI had to have a downfall. Everyone was rushing CGI work, and Marvel is kind of the worst. Is kind of an example because they're rushing their CGI, and they still make last minute changes. And now the VFX people are unionizing against Marvel for doing this or treating them like this, which is something you should never do to a studio. You have to treat workers with respect and actual just respect in general. I don't know the other word I was gonna say, but it's just, just I feel like CGI has had a major downfall. Like we were talking about the Snow White movie, those dwarves look like the things from the Polar Express, that would haunt your nightmares. Now, fun fact about me, I wasn't even scared of those face designs. I was just looking at them like, okay. Which I'm kind of shocked about because people I know were like, those faces were terrifying. And I was like, no, I'm like, yeah, I understand what you've gone through. Lots of people felt that way. And the Seven Dwarves, just, the CGI is so noticeable. And it's just crazy how CGI has kind of had a downfall. But hopefully it gets better as the 2020s still move until we get to the 2030s. Maybe it'll look better then. I'm not sure. What do you think about it, Javante?
Well, I think graphic-wise, it looks more beautiful than other, but sometimes it looks unrealistic.
Exactly. Like there's so many. Like sometimes you can point out, hey, that doesn't look real. like that doesn't look real. That doesn't look like something I would walk into or walk up or walk, just walk next to, and I would see. No, this looks fake. Like CGI can look fake. Something is looking more fake than ever. And I feel, well, to me at least, you guys can have your own opinions. But I just think CGI is just. I think CGI needs to take a bit of a back seat. Not saying that it can't be used, but I feel like we should mix more with practical effects and CGI, because practicality is the thing that can make things feel more real and more immersive, and we can actually have a hook to the actual effects that we see. So CGI can just. I just feel like CGI should be like maybe not being used so much, and I feel like they should stick with practicality and CGI in order for them to not be in the situation where, hey, this thing doesn't look real. That's obviously CGI. Like, what do you think? Does practicality need to be used for CGI when it doesn't look real?
Yeah, just to make sure it looks a little bit more realistic.
Exactly. I mean, CGI has to look good. Not to say it has to be perfect, but it has to look like you can actually know this is an actual thing that I'm seeing on screen.
But as far as how it looks realistic, it's 50-50, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
Because with like certain things, like it doesn't have to look realistic. Like you watching that anime, it doesn't have to necessarily look realistic because you can already tell it's fiction.
Yeah.
But if you watching something with like live action or like actual people, you kind of want it to look realistic.
Kinda, I'd say. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry about that. Well, anyway, guys, Hey guys, let us know what you think about CGI. Do you think CGI will get worse over time, or do you think it will get better as time rolls more around? Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, moving on to. This is just going to be a controversial topic, and there are going to be lots of Taylor Swift fans hating me. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift's music. I'll explain why. And you're going to disagree with, some of you may disagree with me, and some of you will agree with me. But I just think Taylor Swift just has annoying songs like "Cruise, it's a cruise," or there's so many songs I could go over, or I could go, "It's gonna shake, shake, shake." No, I'm not. I don't like listening to that crap. At least in what I think. And if Taylor Swift was watching this right now, she would probably want to sue me, like she sued Ryan Reynolds for using her cat in Deadpool 2. At least I think that was an actual true. I think that was actually true, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, just let me know. But I'll take the one that's responsible for letting you guys know if it was fake or not, because I honestly don't remember. I just think Taylor Swift is just not kicking it for me. Just doesn't kick it for me because she just makes noise. There's no creativity. There's just noise everywhere. And I just get so annoyed. Like sometimes when I come home from the van, I don't really take a van anymore because I have a weird schedule with work. I hear Taylor Swift music and someone starts singing it and I'm like, shut the hell up. Like they don't shut, and they won't shut up because they know they're annoying. It's just complicated. It's just so annoying. Like Billie Eilish is better because she's more unique, while Taylor Swift, on the other hand, is just noise. But what do you think, Javante? Do you think she's annoying, or do you think she's talented?
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, nor am I a hater. But what I will say is, according to what I've heard, my boy Travis Kelce, you better put a ring on it, or it might be at least one album, maybe several albums of diss tracks dropped on.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's how I heard. That's what I heard. That's how I heard. How she allegedly gets dead.
Yeah, like I guarantee she's gonna have her downfall. And even someone from work even says, I like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is cool. And I'm like, no, she's not.
Basically,
She annoying.
from what I heard, is she makes diss tracks on all of her exes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. But I don't like. But I'm still not a fan of Taylor Swift. Like, she's people are just gonna get sick of her music. I guarantee you that they're just not gonna be like, oh, this is creative. No, they're just gonna be annoyed by her music because it's just the same old, same old, same old. Like,
I'm glad the Chiefs didn't win the Super Bowl.
uh-huh.
That would have been annoying.
Yeah. Like I even did you see the part where the people booed at Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl this year?
I don't recall that.
You didn't? Well, it's online and you guys can search it up right now in case you missed the Super Bowl. But still.
Once Philly was up by 1 million, I was just happy.
Yeah. Like Taylor Swift. Like I don't care what people say about Taylor Swift. This is just my honest thoughts. And you have to take it. You have to take it whether you like it or not. I just do not like Taylor Swift. But anyway, let us know what you guys think. Are you a fan of Taylor Swift or are you not Taylor Swift? Why do you like her? Why do you not like her? But let us know and let us know what you think about it.
Honestly, I don't care.
Yes, of course you don't care.
I don't care one way or the other.
Yeah, I know, but I care so much because I just don't want to listen to Taylor Swift and just do this to my ears for the rest of Taylor.
Like,
for the rest of my life.
honestly, this is gonna sound real bad, but if her and Travis Kelce didn't hook up, I would have forgot that she existed. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
That sounds bad, but that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I remember her,
Yeah, that's true.
because I talk about that and I felt a lot. And they wind up getting together.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, let's move on to our next topic. Now, we've gone through 6 already, and for you guys watching, thank you. I know this might we have a couple more topics, and then we'll be done if you're in a rush on a date or somewhere. Okay, this is a little corny joke. Just trying to have fun. But let's talk about something serious. Like child stars. Child stars could be like either way the greatest thing or the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Like lots of affections can happen. Like mistreatment, be it like having like an effect of you being bullied at school, like so much. Like it could be so much bad, but it can also be so much good because of how good of an actor you could be. But still, it's just crazy how child stars are like that sometimes. Like if you're referring to Jake Paul or the girl from The Grinch, I can't remember her name, who had bully issues, and the person from, well, I'm not gonna say her name because I mean I can, but I just have respect for people like that go through trauma, and sometimes if I say their name, I feel like they're gonna be a little pissed at me for saying that. Because and besides, she's an adult. But hell, Jake Paul and the girl from The Grinch could be pissed at me too, so I apologize. But yeah, childhood trauma could be kind of the worst or best thing that could ever happen to you because of how it could affect the rest of your life. Like it could lead you to just, like I said, mistreatment and bullying. But I feel like the point we're trying to say is that, is it like how bad or how good could it be? I mean, sure, you could get your stardom up and you could go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, or you could just stop where you are and just devote your life into something else. I mean, the choice is yours to make. And to be honest with myself, I just feel like that people that have those kinds of trauma are just, I just feel bad for. I respect people that just, just trying to do their best, and people that were traumatized, I'm very sorry that you were, and I don't think you like talking about this stuff anymore, but still, I just like that I could just say, I just hope that life gets better from here on out, and I know your life will be changed forever. Like, and Drake, all his personal stuff, like, was really traumatizing, and I feel terrible for him. Like, it must have been so hard to cope with over the years. What do you think, Javante, about all that?
What specifically?
Like like child stars, and how it could be the worst thing or best thing
It
that could
could,
ever happen to
yeah.
you.
It's a double edged sword because, like, you at school and like you getting bullied at school is just you could you could
Like
easily
you,
come up with the conclusions because they're hating on you because of how talented you are
or
at a
they could
young
just hate
age.
you or how bad you are.
But also, if you're really popular, that could be like sometimes it could be like, okay, the only reason why people are around me is because of what I do.
Yeah.
Um, Man, but sometimes some of those kids, like, they feel like they got. Some of them are pressured to do it. Some of them want to do it. Um, but even the ones that want to do it, I guess they kind of look at circumstances. They're like, okay, mommy and daddy can barely make it ends meet. And
Yeah. Sometimes.
I got this talent that can stop all of that.
Yeah, people can help other people heal. Child stars can do that. But still,
But
there are big
a
consequences.
lot of what we're seeing, well, it's more with rappers than anything.
Uh-huh.
But you see a lot of what we're seeing in this, like a lot of people in the industry saying this is the best thing you can do. We see kind of like maybe a um, two, maybe 3 to 5 year window of stars really showing their capability and kind of vanishing from the public eye.
Yeah.
You see that a lot
Yeah,
with rappers,
people
and
do
then
that.
they might come back 5, 10 years later,
That's true.
like Kendrick Lamar. I'll give Kendrick Lamar is a great example. I believe late 2000s, early 2010s when he really was making a name for himself. Kind of slowed down for a couple years. Then he dropped Humble. Didn't hear from him for a long time. R- Barely heard from him until Drake and J Cole was talking about the big three, and then he like, hold up, just because I chilled
Mm-hmm.
don't mean I'm still not like that. And he showed why he wasn't like that. He like, they not like us. They not like us.
They ain't like us. They ain't like us. They ain't like us.
Trying to stack a chord. Like, it might be the best way out. Get the bag.
Like
Do what you
Drake can
gotta
make
do.
lots of money off of that. You can make buttloads of money being a
Yeah,
child
and
star.
like any industry, because like the NBA is the reason why they're like there's some NBA players like, I don't want to be known as the face of the league.
You just want to do your talents, just not
Like
be promoted to something better.
me, I mean, like I'm pursuing media. Like I'm not a well known professional, but technically like this is a professional job. But if I make it at a high level, being well known, the first couple of years, you probably won't see personality out of me. Especially if I make it at a like the highest level, extremely young. Let's say early 30s. You won't see personality out of me. But after a couple of years, like I'm not saying I would go ghost, but I'm saying, eh, it's just like dang, like when he not doing this job, you really don't, you barely hear from him.
Yeah,
It's a good chance I might be like that.
maybe it's a good chance.
I might start off as who has good personality. Like I'll say LeBron got a big personality. Curry got a big. I might start off like that. Or we gonna go the football route. I might start off like a Patrick Mahomes, like a Lamar, like you see in personality. But that the while I might be a Kawhi Leonard,
Mm-hmm.
be a Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You see them, they're like, you see Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl. They like, they went to Disney World. They like, they barely see if he happy or not. He
Yeah.
like, I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, you just don't know.
That's one thing. You really make it to where you want to. like um hope like people where they really achieve their goals. I hope they're not so numb to where they can't really enjoy the accomplishment
Yeah, that's
because
true.
it's a lot. It takes a lot. It's a lot of things you're gonna have to sacrifice. It's a lot
You
you're gonna have
sacrifice a lot when you're famous.
to do to get to a certain level.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's terrible. Sometimes fame could be the worst thing ever because of, like you said, things you have to sacrifice and to get what you want. And I feel like people need to take that differently. And I just don't know how many people there are that do that. So I guess we'll see how many more people do that. But anyway, guys, questions for you.
Well, sounds like about fame. What
Go
do you
ahead.
think? You can decide not to answer this if you don't want. What do you think about the economy?
Economy,
Yes,
like,
the state of the economy
oh, you mean the Maryland?
in general. I'm talking about the whole country.
Um, to be honest, I think we're heading into a dark path. I mean, the president was shot, and everyone is just becoming more stupider, like we've been talking about, and I don't know what world I'm going to be living in. Maybe I won't have a life. Maybe I won't have a successful career. Maybe I won't. Maybe you won't either. Maybe none of us will because our life might end before our eyes when we die. But, we never know what's going to happen.
You think there's anything we can do to
You just,
stop certain things from that, to make certain things better,
like, probably tell
like to
stories or.
make like to make fight to stop inflation and make things more affordable for the average Joe, like things like that.
Maybe.
What are those things?
Like, be nice to one another, be inspiring to others with your creativity. And like I said, just give it your all. Have confidence, have encouragement, and a whole lot more in you. That's positivity. Like, you have to have that, or else you just don't have a chance of succeeding.
Well, I'll say this: me, like I'm speaking out about certain things. Like when I'm not doing media as much as I should, but when I do, I'm speaking out on certain things.
Hmm.
I'm participating in what's called economic blackout. I've been actively
Yeah,
participated in certain things.
yeah,
In anything that I think is not right, I talk about, and I don't talk about it in an emotional way. I bring facts to the table.
yeah. You bring good facts. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below about this topic, and let us know what you think about what we've been talking about so far in general. Tell us of what you think about us talking about all of this stuff so far. All right, moving on to, we got a couple more topics. One is more of a positive one. My Hero Academia. The series is ending this year with its final season, season 8, and it's people. I feel like true anime fans are just pumped for this ending, but sad to see their characters and their journeys. Like, I had a theory once that I'm not gonna say what the theory was, but what if the characters lost its power? And my theory was right. I thought of that theory before I actually looked up to say, oh, it is true. But My Hero Academia, I haven't watched all the episodes of season 7. I've got to catch up, and I'm so sorry about that. But I hear it ends off on a pretty big cliffhanger, I think. And I think that all these characters are just so enjoyable that you want to spend time with them. And Deku, Araka, Red Riot, and of course All Might, and All for One, and Shigaraki, and spent like so many characters that I could go over.
Does he wear green?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he has the green hair and the one that
Okay.
cries a lot, which is something
Okay,
interesting that the
so-
creator added to Deku, is that he cries like a lot during the beginning of the story. But what do you think, Javante, about My Hero Academia?
I'm gonna sound like I'm hating when I say this, but a lot of these animes
2000 and up seem like ripoffs of Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly,
The
yeah.
actual GOAT.
That's true. I mean,
You can't tell me half of these dudes don't look like Goku. I said it. Y'all can fight me in the comment section all y'all want.
Yeah,
We know who came first.
exactly. Goku, and if you say Deku and Goku at the same time, they have Ku. Ku.
Luffy act like him. Naruto look like Super Saiyan Goku with his head.
Yeah.
Name him. Gojo wanna be like him. Saitama think he unstoppable like him. Name him.
Like, he's just bored being unstoppable, Saitama. And there's this funny thing. I thought, like, what if Saitama... You've seen Caillou, haven't you? Like, one of the world's most hated TV shows of all time.
Yes.
I thought of, what if Saitama is secretly Caillou because he has where all the yellow is bold, too?
Caillou on steroids is out.
Yeah, I talked about that with some people yesterday, and that was so funny. Yeah, all that, but it's crazy how far we've come to My Hero Academia. Of course, the manga is ended with, and now the series is ending. But I wonder, will we get any more My Hero Academia content? I don't know. Maybe not in a long time, because My Hero Academia is so popular that sometimes it's hard to, like I said, to let go of those kinds of characters and stories that you want to hold deep into your heart.
Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of those shows are good. But I'm just saying, a lot of them seem like
Dragon Ball ripoffs.
But you know what I respect though? This might not count as this probably doesn't count as anime, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. You know what I respect? Avatar, The Last Airbender.
It is an anime.
I respect it.
It's an anime. It's just distributed by Nickelodeon.
You can't say you can't. I mean, maybe you can debate it a little bit, but it's enough differences. You can't say Aang is complete ripoff.
Yeah.
First of all, he bald. Only thing he do that's kind of like Goku is at the end, bro. Like you could have killed Ozai. That was a Goku move. Like you can argue Goku left Frieza alive because he did give Frieza energy.
Yeah.
But at the end, he kind of was thinking about killing Frieza, but just wound up not killing him. So that's the only thing. But other than that, and he kind of died and came back to life because Katara saved him. But other than those slight two details, they a little different. I mean,
excuse me, sorry.
Because, and I mean, you can say he act like Kid Goku, but you nitpicking.
People nitpick a lot these days.
There is some comparisons, but if the deeper you go, the more you nitpicking.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Goku, I know y'all gonna say I'm so biased for saying.
Yeah, I know. Deku is the Goku of My Hero Academia. He's given this extremely powerful quirk, One for All, that is supposed to be like the enemy of All for One's quirk. All for One. It's just a lot of Dragon Ball inspiration around anime.
Goku solos. He is the GOAT.
He's the greatest anime character of all time, and he always will be. There's no surpassing him. But anyway, guys, what do you think about My Hero Academia ended? And let us know in the comments below and what you think. Anyway, we have 2 topics left, and I'm going to the 9th topic. So let us know what you guys think about these next 2 topics, even though it's a little early to say that. Do we need awards? Awards are something that people earn for their accomplishments in acting, singing, rapping, writing, directing, all sorts of awards you could get. But sometimes I ask myself, when you still have that award, when you pass away, the award defines who you are, which is interesting. I mean,
it doesn't define who you are.
Like, it doesn't define, but
it just showcases what you did.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. I mean, it showcases what you've done, but sometimes I think, well, sometimes people think that awards are the things that make you one of the greats, when it's not that at all. Oh, you don't need to be remembered for an award. You don't need to be remembered for that at all. All you need to do is to be yourself and to be the best person and to be the best you can be. and sometimes that's how you can be one of the greatest. And I feel like with that, sometimes you can do so much new things instead of just wanting to copy in others. And even if you do earn a reward, it sometimes doesn't matter because you are already known as one of the greats.
I know. And you,
What do you think?
to a certain degree, nobody has full control over their life or life in general. And if you think that COVID would like directly challenge your thinking process, because like COVID happened, you had no control over what the country was going to decide to do.
No.
So all you can do is not only be the best person that you can be,
But have encouragement or
do the best to make sure that you are able to spend quality time with the people that you want to spend quality time with. Things of that nature.
Yeah, you gotta be the best person you can be. I mean, sometimes you don't always get that. You have to be a real lucky person. And it's impossible to be one of the greats. It's not like it's ever gonna happen. But
it's not impossible, but you gotta really desire to be that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of is impossible. I'm just saying that in my own terms, but
it's unlikely, but not impossible.
Yeah.
But even then, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with what you do. I know you. Did you hear specifically who Michael Jackson went into business with? Like his business partner, he was kind of. He was new. I guess when he made Thriller, which is what a lot of people will say, if not majority, would say the greatest album of all time. He went to I forgot the guy's name, but he went into business with. I believe I might be mistaken, but somebody who was well known in the industry. But I basically, they were 50-50 partners. They wound up not agreeing certain things, which made things difficult for Michael. Michael wound up wanting to give his share up. But they kind of got bad. They both kind of tried to ruin each other's reputations. Well, from what I've seen, it seemed like Michael was more in the right way to do things.
Yeah.
The correct way. And basically, the guy kind of financially screwed over Michael and his family. By the time he passed.
I mean, when Michael died by taking an overdose, it was the doctor's fault that he died. You know that story, don't you?
Yes.
Where the doctor gave him.
But it got even worse with one of the people that he did business with.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean, Michael Jackson's had a very crazy life. So much stuff that happened. But he'll always be the greatest pop. He's the king of pop. He'll always be the king of pop.
Yes. Even he got taken advantage of.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just crazy how you don't need to, like, Michael Jackson and Harrison Ford are good examples. Like, you don't need to be defined when you're a word. It doesn't define you. You define what you desire most. But anyway, let us know what you guys.
At the end of the day, don't nobody know what you had to do to get in the position that you were in. Exactly. Unless you tell them.
Yeah, it's your decision.
And even then, you might still leave out. You might leave out some details that you don't want them to know, or you might not fully remember some details.
Yeah, probably. Well, anyway, let us know what you guys think about this topic, and let us know.
Because one thing that's true, two people could see the exact same thing and explain it in two completely different ways.
Yeah, you can see. everyone sees the world differently.
That's like have you heard about the Mandela effect? Speaking of that,
No.
so some people see things like differently. So like how Chick-fil-A is spelled. Some people see it with a C. Some people see it with a K. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I get. You can get what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
There was something else I was gonna ask. Um, yeah, but yeah, continue.
Nah, we're gonna move on to our next topic now.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's move on. The last topic: superhero fatigue. We have to ask ourselves these days: is superhero fatigue a real thing? Some people think it is, but some don't think it isn't. To me, I feel like there is a little bit of superhero fatigue because we're just getting the same output that we do over and over again. Like superheroes just flying and flying and flying and just stopping villains from succeeding their goals. But that's kind of the thing we've seen like almost every time now, to a point where people are kind of getting sick of it and just want something new to the story. To me, I don't think superhero fatigue is big, but I think that I just feel that if it was big, then superhero movies probably wouldn't be a thing anymore. There is more create. There's still some more unique creativity with superhero in the superhero genre. I do believe it. I mean, there's so many things you could do with superheroes, like political thrillers, horror movies, thrillers, just comedies, parodies, anything you could think of, you can do. And I feel like I feel like people aren't just figuring out the right ideas for a superhero movie that could please the audience. But what do you think, Javante, about superhero fatigue?
Yeah.
Is it a thing or is it not?
It's definitely a thing. I think the villain should win a little bit more.
Yeah.
I kind of was very. I was very. The one reason why I was very interested in Thanos is because first time around he won.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see him one more time.
Well,
I wish they would have had something at the end game, but you kind of knew it was over because
Yeah,
it was
I
called
know.
end game.
I mean, I knew. Like, you've seen The Dark Knight, right? You have to have seen The Dark Knight. It's the Batman movie. Christopher Nolan Batman movie with Heath Ledger's
It's
Joker.
a lot of Batman movies. Did he fight
Well,
Superman? Did he fight the Joker?
The Dark Knight is where he battles against the Joker, played by the amazing Heath Ledger, who that was his last performance before he passed away. But yeah, in the end of that movie, Joker won. He was able to make Batman the villain of that movie, and it was done so interestingly and so wisely that sometimes, like when you're making a story, the things have to connect. They have to connect to the overall story and the character's goals. Not everything needs to be connected. They don't need to be overly connected. They just need to be connected enough for them to just go, okay, I get what's going on. But yeah, Thanos is another great example. Thanos is just, he won in Infinity War and he achieved his goal for 5 years before everyone came back. So, yeah.
A lot of times in life, I'm not saying this is, well, at least what people believe, the villains often do win. It's believed that there's no ethical way to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
You can make millions of dollars ethically, but you had to, it's not. It's likely you had to do something corrupt to make $1 billion.
Yeah, you have to do something to hook the audience in.
I guess also, have you heard of? I might have mentioned this before. So I forget what it's called, but it's like two people do the same crime. I think I mentioned this, but like two people do the same crime, right? And like the hopes, like if one person, like both of them don't say anything, they got like a year or two in jail.
Uh-huh.
If one person says something and another person doesn't, that one person might get 0 years while the other person may get 10 years. But if they both say something, they could get 5 years.
Yeah.
And I guess the way it's set up is like, I guess, like some of the witnesses, or like people say snitches,
Yeah.
they they're a lot of time their incentive is to either kind of get out of jail free card,
Mhm.
or just see that person suffer because they
Yeah.
might not like the person.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is a lot of times, information in different in these cases can be false all the way around,
Yeah.
which is messed up. That's why they say a lot of people are in jail for life for something they never did.
Yeah.
What do you think could be done to make a lot of these systems more fairly? Because I guess it's all about getting who you can get.
Yeah.
And then they say this a lot about a lot of, like, I know people saying this about the healthcare. The saying is, I'm just going off the saying. I agree to it.
Yeah, I
Shoot,
know.
come for me if you want. There's a thought that a lot of cures have been made for certain things, like HIV, for example,
Yeah.
or like cancer,
Yeah.
or like even like mental illness. But those cures are not going to come out because these people that's in the medical field
Yeah.
can't financially profit off of it if they get the cure.
Mhm.
So it's easier. And you probably there was actually like a Family Guy clip off of it. So it's easier to just like give medicine they know that's going to temporarily fix it, build people along the way so they can make their money,
Yeah.
instead of just curing it. Because you know the main reason why I see they don't want certain people to really make it. The main reason why I believe this, because Magic Johnson unfortunately caught HIV
Yeah.
in 1991 when he was a Los Angeles Laker.
Mhm.
And usually that either A leads to AIDS, or even if it doesn't lead to AIDS, a lot of times you would die basically. But Magic Johnson, considering the fact that he had that disease,
Yeah.
is in very, very good condition.
Yes, that's a good thing.
And I think that's kind of funny that he's in very, very good condition, where most people would not be. Well, granted, he was, but even then, for a famous, even all the money in the world, they thought he was going to die. But I think it's interesting that he is in good condition, but almost everybody else who's caught
Yeah.
that disease eventually passes on. Yeah, so I agree with that theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching Super Hot Super Dudes, and we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.